All right, we're going to start with 1 through 5 on the practice test, and I will be working 1 through 5 using the mobile balance. The other ones on the videos for the practice test I will not be. So if you do not do the mobile balance, it's totally fine. You can still just check your answer. Your steps should still be the same as well. Okay, on this first one, we have 5 times the quantity p minus 12 is equal to 15. The first thing that I'm going to do, although you could draw arrows and distribute, I'm going to write an area model for this one. So 5 and then p times minus 12. If I filled that in, 5 times p is 5p, and 5 times negative 12 is negative 60. So my actual equation is going to be 5p minus 60 equals 15. Now from here, I am going to go ahead and draw an area model, a mobile balance. 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 p's, and then I have minus 60, and then on the right side, I have 15. And then if I'd like to solve for p, I do not want the minus 60 over here. So to get rid of it, I'm going to actually add 60 to both sides. And 15 plus 60 will be 75. Okay, so now if I look at what I have left, I have 5 p's, and it equals 75. And so now our last step is going to be to divide by 5. So I'm going to get p is equal to 15. Okay, on number 2, we have 13n minus 42 is equal to 5n minus 30. And again, I'm going to go ahead and do a mobile balance for this one, especially with this one. You're likely to have some sign mistakes, so that will get rid of any sign mistakes I might have. So I have 13n's. And then I have minus 42. And then on the right side, I have 5n's, and I have minus 30. Okay, first thing that I'm going to do is cross off some x's. So x, 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 x. All right. And then the second thing I notice is that I do have x's left on the left side, but I don't have any x's on the right side. So that makes me know that I want to get rid of the negative 42. So to get rid of the negative 42 on the left side, I know that I need to add it over to the right side, actually add it to both sides. So negative 30 and a positive 42 will be a positive 12. They're different signs, so I have to subtract them. Okay, now I'm going to look at what I have left. I have 8 x's on the left side, and I have 12 left on the right side, and we know our last step is going to be divide. This does not work out nice, but that is okay. I'm going to go ahead. I don't have my calculator handy, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this by hand, and that should end up being x equals 1.5 if I do that. Okay, so, all right, problem 3. Again, I'm going to go ahead and do a mobile balance on this one. Again, if you didn't, that's totally fine. So I've got 2 x's, and then I've got 7, and then I've got 4 x's on that left side, and then on the right side it says equals, I have 79. Okay, I notice that I do have a lot of x's, so I'm sure many of you went ahead and added those together, but I'm actually going to get rid of the 7 first, and I know to get rid of a positive 7, I need to subtract it from both sides, so it's no longer on the left side. On the right side, 70 minus 7 is going to be 72. And then on the right side, I'm going to count how many x's I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's, and then that's going to equal 72. I could have noticed up here that I had a 2x and a 4x, which when I add it together, it will be 6x. Okay, so our last step we know is to divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals 12. Alrighty, problem 4. Before I get going on this one, I do notice that I've got a parentheses going on here, so we could either use our arrows, or I always like to draw my area model. So we've got x and 2, so 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 2 is 10, which makes me get 5x plus 10. So when I go to rewrite this equation, I'm going to have 4x plus 7 minus 2x equals 5x plus 10 plus 3. I am now ready to draw my area model. So here we go. All right, I've got 4 x's and then a 7. And then it says to subtract 2 x's. So I'm just going to actually subtract 2 x's from the left side. Okay, and then on the right side, I have 5 x's and then 10 and then 3. Okay, so if I look, a couple things that I could do here. First of all, since the 10 and the 3 are both on the right side, I can add them together. So 10 plus 3 will give me 13, and then I can cross up an x, cross up an x, cross up an x, cross up an x. So now if I look at what I have left here, if I were to write an equation, I'm going to have 7 equals, I've got 3 x's and a positive 13. Okay, so then from here, I know many of you are going to be tempted to subtract 7 from 13, but that 13 is over by the x, so I actually need to subtract 13 from the 7. So notice I'm going to subtract them, but since 13 is a bigger number, it's going to give me -6. So if I look at my final then, on the left side I have -6, and on the right side I have 3 x's. So of course my final step is to divide. -6 divided by 3 is going to be -2. I'm guessing many of you got +2 just because of that whole issue of wanting to subtract 3 from the 7. But I just wanted you to notice if I were to do that, I get 3x plus 6 equals nothing. And that is not an equation that would balance. So that is a big no-no. We cannot do that. So don't do that. All right, number 5. This one looks a little awful because we've got fractions, but I'm just going to change those to decimals and move along my way. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, and then 1/2 is 0.5, and then equals 30 minus 2b. Now this one's going to be a little tougher drawing a mobile balance to start with, because how do you draw 1.5 b's? So I'm just going to put them, I notice that both of these are on the same side. 1.5 plus 0.5, that gives me 2 b's. Plus 6 equals 30 minus 2b. And now I'm going to go ahead and draw my mobile balance. So I've got 2 b's and a 6 on the left side. On the right side, I've got 30, and then I've got minus 2 b's. Well, these were b's, not x's, sorry. Okay, so now I need to get the b's together. So I really want these b's over on the other side. So if I don't want them on this side, what I need to do is add them over to the other side. Okay, so now I've got 4 b's. I'm just going to write that down so I don't forget. So I've got 4 b's on this side, but I don't want the 6. So to get rid of the 6, we're just going to subtract it from both sides. So that gets rid of the 6. 30 minus 6 is 24. So now I have 4b is equal to 24. And then to finish it, we'll just divide both sides by 4, and b is equal to 6. So hopefully you have number problems 1 through 5 correct.